We are live, everyone, but I think most of us started drinking an hour ago.
Mm-hmm. Or 45 minutes or 15 minutes ago, whatever.
Yeah, who's drinking now? You don't even know what time.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
And welcome everybody to a live edition of Scarif Live. We are here with none of us are ready. Like I said before we started, I think all of us started drinking about an hour ago because we are out there, man. We are gone. Make some adjustments here.
I'm just the scuttlebutt of Shanti's jokes.
Yeah, looks like it. You know what, though? I can honestly say that the insults are coming from a good place. Because
well, you don't get any of the loving insults.
I get them all. I get them all.
If you were in the Red 5 chat more, you would know. He does.
You would see. I get shredded. I get shredded. Welcome, everybody in the chat. Look at all those wonderful, beautiful people. We got Amanda. We got Dave. We got Tina, Nicole. Who's in there? Rogue Disney. We got Dan from Inside the Pod. Who else is in there? Alan showed up a little earlier. I think he's going to say hi and bye. And thank you, everyone in the chat. What a great group. I think we are all... Megan is in there. Megan, how's it going? Lunar Girl. Thank you so much with her little blue wrench. What a beautiful thing. We got a really great group in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. This is going to be a really, really interesting night.
And you're going to have to explain that chat already. No, what was this about ass licking already in the chat? What is this? What is this?
You can thank Amanda for that one.
Yeah, you can thank Amanda for that one. Thank you very much. We're going to kick some ass. But, yeah, so I want to make a quick announcement. You know, Brad had brought it to our attention that there's some sort of like sports ball thing happening tomorrow. Usually our Scarif Lives are on Sunday nights, but tonight we did it tonight on Saturday, and I think we're going to switch it to Saturday because it seems to work out better for you, huh, Brad?
Yep. Sure
and I think it works out better for a lot of...
Brad wants.
It's
Thanks,
just
Rob.
Brad.
This is what happens when I get comfortable. Now you're really...
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, Brad, I just want you to... I want to remind you... Uh-oh, we got to... Where's the blue wrench? We got one.
Uh-oh.
We got one already. Yep, we already got one.
And Volnigo, back to you.
So
That's Klingon.
We're popular.
That's Klingon.
But
But yeah, so I think
You calling me a bitch in Klingon?
at least you understand Klingon.
you speak Klingon?
But quick announcement, I guess we're going to do these Scarif Lives on Saturday. It seems to work out for a lot of people, especially when it's a school night. We've got folks from all over the country and a couple of friends from the UK that I think Saturday nights work out a lot better. So thank you very much. Make some adjustments. Join us on Saturdays for Scarif Live. As long as the Book of Boba Fett is playing, we'll be reviewing those on Saturday nights, and whatever else Disney Plus decides to drop on us, we'll be talking about those on Scarif Live. But before we start our main topic, I wanted to ask you guys... let's not forget our guest. We have...
Backstage.
I'm like, wait a minute. What's missing here?
Poor guy.
We got Adam. What's up, Adam, my friend? How are you? From a certain point of view.
Great. It feels great to be feels great to be remembered. You know?
I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? The screen isn't balanced anymore.
I'm great. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Thanks
How's
for
your
having me.
How's
My mom
Cam's
was doing
mom?
great. My mom was doing great. Far away from Cam, that's for sure.
Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about the book of somebody, right? Somebody's book. We're going to talk about somebody's book, but Chapter 5, The Return of the Mandalorian, the name of the chapter for the Book of Boba Fett. Before we start that, I wanted to go around the table and ask everyone. First of all, I had a really quick question for Brad.
Oh, God.
Are you furry?
Well, you might not know this.
He's got an answer.
White guys like me tend to be furry.
Red 5 confessions.
Yes.
Red 5 confessions. That could be, there you go.
Don't get too close. We're furry.
But second question for everybody around the table here. I wanted to find out if you guys bought any cool new geek collectibles throughout the week. You guys got anything? Brad, let's go with you first.
Thanks. I'm going for quantity here. Not like I thought I had quality, but now Chantal's overcompensating.
In this case, size matters.
All right, yeah, no shit. All right. So we did some thrift shopping and got the art, original art.
That's cool.
Darth Vader,
I like that
one.
to go along with the Star Killer.
Very nice.
Nice.
And then a couple members of the Bad Batch. We got Crosshair and Tech.
Very nice.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And what I thought was going to be really cool until Chantal brought her little toy. I was able to find a 1999. This is from episode 1. Jeff Gordon, episode 1 card.
Diecast.
And it's a limited edition. It's got Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan there. Got Darth Maul in the back corner there. And, of course, you can't have an episode 1 car without Jar Jar Binks.
Very nice.
But
don't make that face, Shanti. Don't make that face. Brad, did it come with a case?
Yeah. Yep.
It did? Oh, okay. All right.
Styrofoam case.
No. I mean, does it have a plastic?
I'm gonna get one.
I got an extra one.
Okay.
Measure it for me, and let's make sure it fit. Oh my God.
Well, it's to scale.
It's to scale. Of course,
it's
it
a
is.
1/28. I don't know.
Inches or
it's in the
metric
If you're
system.
talking about it in
How
scale,
many-
that's
how
not a
many
good
is 6
sign, Brad.
centimeters? 6 centimeters, somewhere around there. Yeah.
I think that C is an M.
Chantal's off.
But those are nice collectibles.
Those are nice. I like the car.
I like the car. The
Thank
car's
you.
really
Like the car.
cool. Very
Yeah,
nice.
Go ahead, just do your thing, Chantal.
Am I next?
No,
your
she's
toy.
not.
Oh, okay. Ladies last in this.
So the last time I did something, when I put the camera on one of my Black Series walls, 97 Bravo must have like zoomed in and paused the screen and everything, and he realized that I had 2 Darth Revans, and he direct messaged me and he said, "Hey bro, let's do a trade." Because I usually,
What kind of question was that?
right, I usually buy like 2 of, like, if I like a figure, I'll buy 2, one to open, one to display. But I never got around to opening that Darth Revan, so I just kept them both in the box. So we traded. I sent him a Darth Revan, and I got one of his Mandalorian incinerator troopers, which is kind of cool. And it's the what is that? The carbonized graphic.
Yeah, those are nice.
Version, and the box is kind of shiny, but I'm figuring that the action figure is caramelized or carbonized.
Caramelized. Yeah.
Caramelized.
Caramelized.
Oh,
Like
that
the-
sounds
like
You
delicious.
can't cook.
Like the onion. But I also wanted to reiterate our friends over at After the Weekend podcast, which is one of the Red Five's newest members, Maria at the Geeky Crochet. Yes, it is beautiful.
So beautiful.
And it's Ahsoka. We did a video interview with her. If you look, if you look on our YouTube page, I did a quick interview with her. Well, not so quick, but she is beautiful. It's one of the wonderful things in my collection. So check them out. Yes. Maria and R2 the Icky after the weekend podcast. They are reviewing or talking about Never Ending Story. Okay. You're up, Shanti. What do you got?
Adam, you have nothing? No? Okay.
I got
Oh, wait, you want to go last? We can go. We can make you go last. No, Adam. Let's do Adam. Let's do Adam.
Yeah, do me because hers is just gonna kill everything. So. I didn't get this week, but I got it a couple weeks ago. So recently, I guess. But this is the R2-D2 Tamagotchi that came out.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, it already went through the wash.
My Lord.
So his circuits got a little fried.
I missed.
But it was really cool, and I might even get another one. Just kind of maybe keep this one on the shelf or something. But it was pretty cool. It has like two. It had like 2 games. I think a third one that you can unlock. Some characters pop up every once in a while. Grievous, Stormtrooper, Yoda, stuff like that. So
I want one.
It was pretty cool, and like I said, I might have to get another one. So
I had them when I was in middle school, so I would love to have
Yeah, I did too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Apparently they have them in 2 colors. One's white, and then this one's like a see-through plastic blue.
My sister and I were so bad. We played with them in church.
Oh, I did too.
Okay, good. I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, and my dad was the pastor, so.
Wow!
I mean, it's a lot of fun. It was like $17, so.
Very nice. Very, very nice. I had a Rancor one. It kept dying. Wouldn't feed it. Didn't have enough.
Bond with it.
Sometimes overfed.
I didn't bond with it. Yeah, I didn't bond with it. Yeah.
It's got an imprint on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Ro's good on imprinting on things.
Yeah.
I just want to say a quick hello to Kane, my buddy Kane. He is the voice of Sentry Mode. What's up? How you doing? Kane, thank you very much for stopping by. And I told him to stick around for Shanti's Collectible because he is also a Batman fan.
Oh, good.
And what do you got?
Oh, God, please don't break.
Is your water out of the way?
Yeah, it is. It's on the...
Okay, all right. Let's see what we got. Damn.
Here we go. Here it is.
Wow. Look at that. And that's a Lego really cool. Batmobile.
Mm-hmm.
Badass. Look at that.
It is really beautiful.
And how long did that take to build?
Honestly, I probably could have done it a lot quicker, but I had to pace myself.
Yeah.
Open that door.
You get so into it.
Open that hatch again.
Maybe a week or so.
No. Wow.
I'm really scared. And then if you lift off, hold on, if you take, there are 2 pieces that you pull off here.
Take it off, Shawnee.
I will. And when you turn this part here in the back, I don't know if you can see because I can't tell. It raises the guns.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to tell because of the background. But let me see.
Oh, no, I see it.
You can see it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Everybody's...
That's really cool.
And I love it because it came with this little rotating platform, so you can just put it on. You can literally just spin it, and it's really, really beautiful.
Wow.
The Batwing is gorgeous, too. But...
Wow. That is really cool. And,
it's a fun build. I'm sad that it's over.
You have another one that you're building now, no?
No, I did the Batwing first, which
and that was a little
really
smaller, right?
Through. It was less pieces, but it looks bigger than the. It looks bigger than the Batmobile. Yes.
Oh wow.
I want the AT-AT.
Yes.
But it's...
Just don't put a flower in the butthole. Okay?
Who did that?
I don't know. Brad is like, did I miss something?
It sounds like a failed
You need to see it to believe it.
That's a failed Hallmark. Just don't put a flower in the butthole.
All right, let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett, the return of the Mandalorian here on Scarif Live. All right, guys. Night and day with this series. It's
almost like a different show.
It is. It's almost like a different character and a different show. The one thing I got to say is, before I said I was going to be really critically hard on the Book of Boba Fett because, Boba Fett is just, he's an interesting character. Whether the character is interesting in your mind, or if you think, obviously he got very limited screen time in the original trilogy, all the bad acidry of the character kind of is built up in our minds because of the expanded universe, legends, stories, comic books, all that stuff. But nevertheless, fans still love him. No matter where you pull your canon from, he's still a favorite character. And I think when they announced that they were going to do this Book of Boba Fett series, fans obviously wanted something to go along with that. I don't think a lot of us are getting that, but this episode of the Book of the Mandalorian, you see what happens?
This is your graphic.
Right. Yeah. But this episode of this series really went a long way to satisfying my particular itch when it comes to the richness of the visuals, and even the storytelling. I think the first couple of chapters of the Book of Mandalorian are a little choppy for me, and we've discussed already a lot of what we feel is lacking in the series up to date in previous review shows. But I do want to give props to Bryce Dallas Howard. I think she is technically a wonderful director. She did a lot of really great things in this chapter, and I'm glad that it was announced that she's going to come back and shoot more, direct more episodes of The Mandalorian, starting with this one, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know. Is it weird not to have the title character in an episode of his own show? Of course it is. Has it never been done? No, I think it's been done. But I guess let's go around the table and start discussing. I know, we each have our likes, our dislikes, but let's start with Just Brad. Overall impressions of this chapter of the Book of Mandalorian.
The bantha in the room aside, the fact that this was a Boba Fett show that didn't feature Boba Fett, for a TV show, this was a really great show. I feel like they added that little bit with Fennec at the end, like, oh shit, we forgot to tie this into Boba at all. We'll just have Fennec talk to him for 2 minutes, and it's a Boba Fett show. But overall, for a Boba Fett show, okay. So, whatever. For a TV show, it was great because for me, those were a lot of when the Mandalorian ended, still had a lot of questions about what the hell was the Purge, and how did they survive and all that kind of good stuff. There was a lot of holes that still needed to be filled when the Mandalorian got done. And this was a great episode to what, are you okay, Shanti?
You said something that triggered her.
Trying to be good.
You said something
Trying to be good.
Something about holes being filled.
Holes being filled. Okay, all the holes got filled that we needed to get filled.
I can't look at Ro.
All right.
He looked at me. He was waiting for the reaction.
But
Go, Brad. Go.
That was ridiculous. So it answered a lot of questions that we had coming from the Mandalorian. I thought it was a great backstory there. Obviously it wasn't a Boba Fett show, but for me, I thought it was, everything that happened in the show, I thought was amazing. We'll get into more details on the Darksaber and some of the specific scenes, but I thought it was a very entertaining show overall.
I agree. Let's go down to Adam. From a certain point of view, Adam, your overall thoughts on the episode, the chapter.
Yeah, it's hands down my favorite episode of the show so far, and I'm going to echo what Danny said. She basically said exactly what I was going to say. That's kind of a problem also because it wasn't really an episode of Boba Fett. It was a Mandalorian episode. And so while that's awesome and I loved it, and it was easily my favorite of this quote unquote season, book, whatever this is, it was the best episode of the wrong show,
That is a great quote. The best episode of the wrong show. And I don't know how else to say that. It's a little odd. But I know Star Wars Newsnet got some flack for one of their latest posts regarding the Book of Boba Fett. They claimed that the show doesn't know what to do or how to portray itself, and it was a little obvious with this latest chapter. The tonal difference between not only the production but the way they told their story, and obviously we're a little bit more familiar with the story of the Mandalorian now that we're 2 seasons out, and the Book of Boba Fett story is still being told, but it's being told in such a weird, disjointed way that does kind of cause a problem. But Chantel, I know you've got notes, but what is your overall reaction to this episode, whether you want to relate it to the Book of Boba or the Book of Mando? What are your thoughts?
I loved this episode, and I'm pissed off that I loved this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I'm
upset that it was good.
Yeah.
And that it had nothing to do with Boba. And that I didn't care that he wasn't even in the episode.
Do you guys care the same way that Shanti does? Brad, do you care that Boba Fett was not even in his own show and this was the best one?
Didn't care.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's at this point where, because how many episodes do we have left?
2.
So it's at this point where I think we need to start talking holistically. I don't want to. I think, I've been defending it the whole time. I've been an apologist for it, really, the entire time. But it's at this point where I think we need to start talking holistically of why didn't this season work? Is it the because yes, we have the things like the visuals and stuff like that, but I think there's more bigger picture things here that we probably should talk about. Was there just a general lack of story going into it? Is it just the writing? Is the directing? Is Tamora Morrison at all to blame for it? For if you want to call it the failing of the show, I think we have enough now to review. Like, we're all so refreshed that we had this great show, as Shanti said, that had nothing to do with Boba. So I mean, I think now it's like, why hasn't this show worked altogether? And is it recoverable at this point with just a couple shows left?
I want to put up a comment by Rogue Disney. You can tell it was a different script team and filming crew and stunts unit.
I agree with that.
I had posted that on Twitter, and I kind of said that it almost seemed like that the Book of Boba Fett was handled by the B team, and not to be insulting to the production crew, but like I said, just, this episode just really changed the tone of the show, of any show, whether it was a Book of Boba Fett chapter or not. And I don't know why that is. I don't know. The pacing is different. the method of telling the story is different. I don't know if we get a little bit of a slowdown because they were going back and forth, back to tank flashbacks and stuff like that. And I said it before. I think that first episode was so short. They were telling two
flashback to tank.
Right, yeah. The flashback to tank, exactly. But I don't know.
Back to the
It was
future.
also a darker episode too. The episode to me was just more serious, and I already said it. All the episodes leading up to this have just felt silly to me and cartoonish, and this just felt more adult to me. And I think Din is just a more intriguing character. You haven't given me anything that says Boba's awesome. I think he's a nitwit. I think he's being played very dumbed down, and I don't like it. I think he's a fool, honestly.
Are you putting that on Tamora, or are you putting that on the writing?
Oh, I think it has to be the writing, because
I think it's the writing. I don't think it's him.
I mean, Tamora, he was on that stream saying to the writers that I don't want to say all this. I don't want to say as much as you guys are giving me. Can you give my character a little bit more mystery, a little bit more mystique? Yeah. And it's that whole Mark Hamill thing. I don't agree with the character the way you're writing it again, and I hope it's not that. And I don't think it's that extreme. But there is definitely a very weird, difference in tone between the shows. And I know, Star Wars has an inkling of humor from time to time, and it's not, in your face MCU humor, but sometimes the Book of Boba Fett does have these moments where they are, trying for that humor, and it just it just doesn't work. Yeah. Somebody said, and I think it might have been Brad on a previous show, or maybe not, but the fact that you can't have two badass bounty hunters in the same universe, in the same storytelling. Does anybody remember that comment? Brad, did you say that, or somebody said that? I don't know if maybe it was.
I disagree with that. I don't see why you can't.
Right.
I mean, the comment I made wasn't that. The comment I made was, Boba is a bounty hunter, and now he's not. So I thought they were going to focus on that, like him trying to change, and I apologize for the first two episodes because I did like the flashback. I like getting caught up to where he's at. I didn't know they were going to continue like that the entire freaking season. So I guess that's what you're talking about with the pacing there. But if it just falls flat, either make up your mind, either have him be a badass bounty hunter who's just ruthless, or he's just got to get over this shit and figure something out. But right now it's just they don't have a way. This is the way with Mandalorian, but they have no way with Boba.
What do you say to the people that he never was a ruthless character? This, we're finding out really what type of character he is, and we're not letting the story play out.
So he's got the thing with that is, I understand we didn't see it, but as we've said on previous episodes, he had street cred with the Empire so far up to Darth Vader, right? So he did have street cred with them, with no disintegration. So Darth Vader for the entire galaxy knew this bounty hunter by name. So whether or not we saw it in Empire or Return of the Jedi, he had the credibility, at least with the Empire.
I've always based it off of Han Solo's reaction to him in Return of the Jedi when he's coming out of the blindness and you just hear him going, Boba Fett, Boba Fett. So when I'm seeing that reaction from Han Solo, my assumption is, and I know they say you should never assume, but my assumption is this is somebody who should be feared. This is somebody that even Han Solo is like, holy crap, Boba Fett is here. And then you give me this, you know what I mean? So, and then again, for me, I've just never connected with Boba Fett. To me, he was such a side character in the original trilogy. And that could also be why I'm not enjoying the show, because I have actually never have understood the obsession with him to begin with.
You're canceled. You're canceled.
Hey,
well, then me too, because that was where I was with Boba Fett. I mean, to be honest,
all I know is the movies. All I know is the original trilogy.
He's been one of my least favorite characters because he's just never been that interesting to me. And I was fine with not getting a Boba Fett movie. I liked what they did with him in The Mandalorian, so I was willing to give Book of Boba Fett a try.
Me too.
Is he a different character in The Mandalorian versus what we're seeing now?
To me, he is.
Yeah, he was more awesome in that, and like we didn't. Well, I want to see that guy, and I wanted to ask. I think Adam, I'm not sure if you have, but maybe folks in the chat, if anybody has read the Bounty Hunter comic book series that they've been putting out. It maybe so I don't know. Maybe if anybody in chat reads the comics, and I just want to know how they've been portraying him in the comics. Is he still being portrayed as a badass in those comics? Because those are canon now. Previous stuff wasn't canon. I just want to know if anybody's read those, and how he's like. What time frame is that? So it looks like a couple of people may have read it. What time frame is that, and how is he being portrayed in the comics? Because it's certainly not being reflected in the show.
Yeah. That's another issue I have is catering. You know, I mean, I feel like it really should be for everybody. So
yeah,
to sit there and exclude people like myself who don't read the books, don't read the comics, I do feel it is a little unfair. I mean, it you know, it pushes me to want to read. Obviously, I'll sit there and I'll look them up and I'll see, you know, how the character is developed outside of the movies, but I just don't have the time to catch up and read all that stuff.
But do you I don't think that the problems that we have as we're discussing this on this show, I don't think that the problems that we have with Boba Fett as a character is because we don't know what's happening around him. It's what we're seeing in the show that's not jiving.
Yeah, because from what I know, he is supposed to be very badass in the comic books from everything that I've been reading and talking to everybody. So I am really surprised that this is what we're getting. It's like watered down.
So I want to say real quick, it may sound like I'm bashing. I actually like this show. It has problems for me, like we've all mentioned, but I've actually, for the most part, enjoyed the show. It's not my favorite. And to be honest, I think that this last episode was so telling about the series as a whole. For me, this last episode solidified the fact that they never should have taken a year off of Mando. This should be Mando season 3 right now. We should be watching Mando season 3 right now. The Boba Fett thing should have been its own separate thing.
Yes.
And I don't know, like a 2-hour or 2-episode thing. Spend one episode catching up on his backstory, spend another episode doing this Tatooine thing. Maybe even like a 2-hour Disney Plus exclusive movie or something like that.
I would have preferred that.
For me, this episode solidified that, while I do like the show, this isn't the show that we should be watching right now, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I said earlier that it's like night and day, and it really is. The production aspect of Chapter 5 is so much different visually than the rest of the Book of Boba Fett. Let's switch gears a little bit and then just kind of go through the episode and some of the things that were stunning and praiseworthy. One of the things that I really, really enjoyed, obviously, was the in the meatpacking plant. You've got the really awesomely choreographed fight between the bulldog meat cutter dudes.
Deadliest Catch.
The Deadliest Catch guys. Yeah. But that was pretty well done. I loved...
brutal, by the way.
Yeah, very brutal. And, here's the thing. I have said in the past that we are getting a watered-down version of a show, but chopping that character in half and cutting his head off kind of blew me out of the water. Right.
That's what Boba should be doing. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yes.
I want to see some beheadings.
You talked about the Klatooinians. One thing I like about the show, we're trying to give credit where credit's due on this one. They have focused more on some of the lesser known species, like having having that place meat factory. There you go, Shanti, a meat factory. I said meat. focusing on some of those lesser known species and bringing them in the spotlight, I think that's cool. Obviously, the Night of 1,000 Tears, which is Ro and I were kind of watching it at the same time. I mean, that was straight Terminator feel on that one. Like, how menacing were the probe droids? Just searching, and then just the other ones, the K2 droids, just offing whoever they found.
And I didn't notice the K2s until my second viewing. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, they made the K2s look straight Terminator on that one. And what I really loved about the Darksaber on this one is I kind of got the symbolism there. It's sort of a Lord of the Rings sort of burden type feel, where the more you worked, the more you had to use the sword, the heavier it got.
Yeah.
That was interesting for me.
Yeah. And then for the armorer to train him on how to not work against the Darksaber. I thought there was some really good symbolism there. And I thought that was a nice, because you have this, number one, they mentioned some good Mandalorians from the lore, Tar Vizsla, Jedi and Mandalorian, mentioning that kind of stuff, bringing that lore into it. I thought that was really cool, and I love seeing him practice. And I love the big dude challenging him for the Darksaber. I thought that was really cool too.
I love the lessons. I love the armorer's teaching there. It was a really, really great scene. And again, the amount of detail that went into shooting everything, from the little mice in the panels of the ship as it's being built, even some of the little details, the little nods, the choreography of the fight when they were training, when he falls off the walkway there, and he rockets back up. I mean, stuff like that, little things like that goes a long way to kind of, making for a better world. Because if they were just fighting, one thing that I noticed too in rewatch for the Book of Boba Fett, early on, there were just static shots and the actors would do their thing. And I think that bothered the hell out of me. And you can tell that they were in front of the volume, and here's the shot, lock the camera down, go.
Right.
As the episodes got a little bit more, progressive into the series, like episode 2 and episode 3, then you'd start to do a little bit more motion. And there's a lot of it, obviously, in this 5th chapter. Bryce Dallas Howard has a very unique eye for that sort of thing. Especially, I was very impressed with the single shot when he walks into the elevator, when he delivers the head. He walks into the elevator. They stay on him. He comes out. There's a promenade. You can tell it's kind of like a Las Vegas feel to it. They turn the corner. They go into this other room. The client and everybody are having their meals there. He puts the head on the table. The camera goes behind them, and it's still a continuous shot. Nobody's cutting away to anything. They do their little thing. The camera follows him out. They're back in the promenade, back in the elevator. The scene changes. You can see the levels going up, and then he gets out of the elevator. They tilt down to his legs, and then they cut away. But that one sequence was phenomenal. And I'm like, holy crap, why don't they do this in the rest of the series? Again, credit where credit is due, but Bryce Dallas Howard definitely has a feel for the technical. I love the fact, and I'm gonna re-examine that shot, but I think it's 2 volume sets, with the elevator shaft being the separator of the two, because that was kind of a wide field of view, and a lot wider than what we're used to in the Book of Boba Fett, where you see the Tusken scenes, and it just kind of looks like they're sitting inside a warehouse instead of Tatooine. But these are the things that bother me as a behind the scenes guy, where I don't want to have to pull from 2 sets of criteria to critique Star Wars on the small screen versus Star Wars on the big screen. And Brad, I'm with you. This episode looked phenomenal, looked really great. It was almost like a mini movie that could have been, part of something bigger. I think it was pretty good.
I think Adam nailed it. A 2-hour Boba special of what happened to Boba. How did we get here? and then continue on with this episode right here with the Mandalorian. Was anybody surprised? I mean, I guess we all kind of figured it was going to be the Mandalorian. Did anybody think it was going to be Bo-Katan or anybody else showing up in the episode instead?
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't really excited or anything when I saw him pop up just based on the music from the last episode. I actually wish they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew right away after the title said The Return of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, there was no
I mean, I knew when they played the
surprise
music.
factor.
Imagine if they played that music and then had, like, Toro Calican show up or something.
You'd like that.
What a bummer.
What else did everybody like? I went on a long diatribe of that one single shot, and, you know, there's a lot more visually there that I can, you know, talk forever about. But, Adam, what are some of the other things that you liked visually about this episode?
I mean, visually, solely visually, I really liked the kind of this space station feel, that ring thing.
Oh,
then,
my God, yes.
Very cool. And then I really like how, you know, the armor is kind of hanging out in this underside, underbelly type of this thing, you know, almost like space all around. I thought that was really cool, really moody looking.
It was very sci-fi.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you mentioned the volume, and I said on our show a few episodes ago that I feel like the early episodes of this we saw the limitations of the volume.
Yes.
I feel like the Mandalorian episodes maybe covered that up a little bit better, or maybe they knew how to work with it better. I don't know. But I
think you're right.
I feel like the first few episodes you started to feel a little bit cramped in some of these shots, and that was all gone. This felt much better. So I don't know if it's Bryce Dallas Howard having that experience, you know, using that in the last 2 seasons of Mando, you know, knowing how to utilize that so it doesn't feel, you know, like it did the first episode or 2 of this season. So I don't know what that was, but it felt a lot better for me.
What if the first part of the Book of Boba Fett was filmed before that second lockdown that we had when all production kind of stopped for a while? And what if all of this stuff is actually like early volume production work where they really didn't have a handle on things, and that's why we're noticing kind of that sort of difference? And, you know, they did have a lockdown, I think, for...
Well, I mean, the first Mando season used a lot, and that was before lockdowns. So you think that they would have that ironed out by now.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I think this show is second tier, is what it is. And no, I'm being serious. I don't think this was meant to surpass anything at all. And I honestly
they
used the Mando crew for this episode.
Yeah.
And
I honestly think that they just didn't have quite enough for Boba.
Yeah.
And so we kind of ended up with almost like 3 different plot threads through this 7-episode series that we're now following through. So I think that it's kind of a mishmash of ideas, and some of them are working, some of them aren't. So
it's a filler season, and that's the problem.
It is a filler.
A filler episode is fine. A filler season is something else entirely.
I have patience. I would rather have just waited for season 3 of Mando, and I would have been completely content with that instead of you giving me this that I personally feel, sorry to say, that I've been wasting my time.
Something that Star Wars Newsnet also said that, Adam, I think goes along to your point. It feels like the Book of Boba Fett is the first draft of something that they wanted to do.
I agree.
It definitely feels that way. But we lost 2 viewers, so let's turn this frown upside down.
But they obviously had this planned out, though, right? I mean, they at the end of
this is the best show of Star Wars ever. Come back, viewers.
Come back, viewers. Yeah.
This is like when we just start talking about The Last Jedi in our early episodes, row, and just the viewers.
Oh yeah.
Down to our 2 core viewers. It was nice.
I'm not trying to hate on it.
They obviously had this planned out, right? Or do they not? Do they throw up the Book of Boba Fett at the end of Mando, and then at that
It feels
point
like they were writing it as they were shooting it.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that executive producer and director Robert Rodriguez said before this show aired, he said, "We are going to over-deliver." I haven't seen any of that yet.
What is he
Honestly,
talking about?
I don't know.
He's
we
talking
talked about this on our show. It blows my mind. I don't know what he was talking about that whole time.
It was the car race.
He said that. Yeah, he said that thing about that. He said that thing about over delivering. He said that thing about, you know, the trailer was from the first half of the first episode. You know, that the first episode reveals way too much after that they can't get into it. I don't know what he was talking about there because none of that was true.
Maybe these next 2 episodes are going to blow our minds.
So I was going to talk on that, Rose. So number one, you asked anything else we liked. He said wizard. All right, so points for saying wizard.
Points for.
I mean, Easter eggs in this episode overall were.
I mean, he was
first rate stuff.
You know, in the Dune Sea. You know, doing the pod race. You know, this is pod race.
Loved all that stuff.
The question I was going to pose to you guys is, what needs to be done? What would have to happen in these last two episodes for you to be satisfied, for you to be able to call this season a success?
Hire the crew that just did the Mandalorian episode. Yeah, I mean okay, so now we got all that stuff out of the way. We know his relationship with the Tuskens. We know, you know, the Pikes are around.
No one cares about the Pikes, by the way. No one cares about Pikes.
I like Pikes.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest. I like Pikes.
They're cool in the Clone Wars.
I like that they're there.
They're in the Clone Wars. That was cool, but you know what?
Yeah, I like it.
Solo, but I guess I like English now.
I'll echo Adam. I'll be in your corner, Adam. I like the Pikes too. I think they were badass in the. Well, we haven't seen badass Pikes in live action. They were pretty badass in the animated series, but I don't know. What will it take? You know, these last 2 episodes. I know a lot of people have given shit to other accounts that say that there's a lot of pressure going into the last 2 episodes, but there is. I mean, you know, give us something better. I don't know.
You asked us a couple of shows ago. What is the end goal? Do we know what's the climax, Shanti? What's the climax of this show? What is the climax we've all been waiting for?
It all depends.
I don't know.
I don't know. If we're really just having the show to watch him just ride a Rancor, I mean, that's really silly. I'm sorry. I mean...
Oh, that's right.
Is that really, like, all we're watching this for? I mean...
That might be the payoff, to be honest. I mean, I'm glad
and then that's
that
sad, and that's terrible.
Honestly,
that's the only thing you're looking forward to is him riding a Rancor. I mean, that's not enough for me. I mean, I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I agree. That's not enough for me either.
The plot is not good. The writing is not good.
Wait, the plot is not. The plot is not important.
The plot is not.
The plot is secondary.
That comment. I could not believe that comment blew me away.
There's been no Yo Mama jokes, so that's good. I mean, that's
definitely. Someone's learning. Yeah. But you know, it's interesting because the end goal definitely, I don't see it yet, and I know we've got a lot of people in the chat. They're like, well, you know, the story's not finished telling yet, but I think, you know, does he want to be a mob kingpin? Does he want to rule with respect? What does he want to do? I mean, it's been kind of a mixed message from the get-go. Yeah, I don't know, but you know, somebody also mentioned that we are gearing up for kind of an Avengers style endgame confrontation type war, and I'll ask you guys what you think. I'll ask you guys what you think right after we say thank you to some of our patrons. All right, time for the big thank yous, podcast family, to those of you that support the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. Team Scarif gives you all a heartfelt thank you, wonderful people who have found it in their hearts to support our show. We're super lucky to have you.
Hello there.
Folks like Amanda, Jedi Caligula 89, Joey Rosales, what up, Joey? The Salty Crew at the Salty Nerd Podcast, Alex and Matt. Super fan of many of the Red 5 pods, Nicholas Schaefer. Follow him at Backyard TARDIS. What's up, Nick? Our Star Wars Celebration friend, Chad at Hyperspace and Holocrons. Jay from Florida. Our other Floridian, Frank, at the Garrison level. Big thanks. And certainly not least, our executor level patrons, 97 Bravo and the Convergence Podcast. And Scott and Kim from the Used and Abused Podcast. Big thanks, you Red Fivers. Go give them a follow. Huge respects to all our patrons for your support. And if you want to become more involved in the Scarif Scuttlebutt community and feel like becoming a patron, head over to patreon.com/Scarif Scuttlebutt. And remember, we can't have the scuttle without the butt. Don't forget, it's always sunny on Scarif with patrons like you. I like the butt. But our patrons are wonderful. Thank you very much. We have ScarifCon 2022 programmed for July 23rd. Stay tuned for more details. We want to thank our patrons for helping us put that together. More details to come. But as I said before, what is the end game? We got 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett lined up. And I think this was supposed to be a one-off season, correct?
As far as I know.
Rumor was,
yeah.
I hope
But then
so.
again, they said that with the Bad Batch, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, we're getting more Bad Batch. But I don't know. All right, so Endgame. What are we talking about? What are some of our predictions for the end of this thing, man?
I literally have no prediction.
Back.
I don't know where the end game thing.
I
Lots of
really
hope.
don't. I can't.
Well, they're going. So, we've spent all this time saying that they got to prepare for war.
Right.
Right.
So,
right. But I mean, if Endgame implies like a team up, I don't know if
he's going
might
back for
get-
Grogu.
he's going back for
Yay.
Grogu, but I don't think he brings Grogu with him.
No, that's
That's season
honestly,
3.
Yeah.
that's for Mando. That's going back
Yeah.
to Mando.
So I mean, we got Mando and Boba. Dave Filoni is directing this next episode. We might get another character there. That he seems to like to direct his, animation characters. So we might get maybe like a Cad Bane or something like that. I don't know. But I mean, I think that would probably be. I don't see a lot of like a bunch of characters coming in to fight this war.
Especially this late in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
The war is him, Fennec, the biker gang thing, and
Yeah. Sons of Anarchy.
he's got
And Special K.
he's got
Okay.
8 he's got 8 people in his army. So I don't know what kind of war we're looking at here.
Yeah.
And I think we've established that this what do they call the group of Mandos that hide in the sewers?
The covert.
Yeah, there's only 2
They're
of
staying
them.
put. They're staying. I don't think they're not going to be involved.
I don't think
Yeah.
they'll be involved.
They're
No.
chilling.
I don't know if we get Tuskens. Maybe word is passed around Tusken
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Tuscan Land.
camps. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Boba's a friend, so maybe we get some Tuskens coming in to lend
That's
a
actually
hand.
what I
don't know.
thought this is where it was going to go when they were showing us all the
Oh, I thought
flashbacks.
too,
That he was
yeah.
going to have him like an ace in a hole, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And then they died.
And then they
And
died.
then they
Yeah,
died.
right. And then they
Oh,
died.
what's the point of this? Okay. All right, slaughtered. Never mind.
Every last one of them,
The
Not
men,
just the men.
the children.
women and children too.
Oh,
All that sand.
yeah.
And
This
it's not like
is,
it's not like he's united all of Tatooine or anything. No one even. I don't know. Oh, he does. He does have Kurt Santon too, I guess.
yeah. Special
So
K.
what we-
That's what we said.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I call him Special K.
No, I do.
Pretty sure I started. I do want to see him come back. I love that character.
Yeah.
And I know who else Ro wants to see again.
Oh, that's right. Amanda mentioned it in the chat earlier.
You introduce some of these characters, and I get,
and then they're gone.
To just throw us off for no reason, or is it just to...
That's another reason. You know, I'll
That's
go
why
back.
I didn't like
Brad's...
the guest stars. It's not like you kept them throughout. You know, so what?
I mean, one or two guest stars is fine, but you know, to bring in Jennifer Beals and to kind of give her that mystique and who is she, and then, you know, okay, we got 2 episodes left.
So how are you going to wrap up that? Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. It's getting back to Brad's point. You know, I thought they did plan it, but it definitely just it seems like draft 1 of a series. Let's put all this stuff in Post-its and then try to tighten up the story. Let's just do it.
I think that this Grogu thing is a problem too, because I mean, it sounds like we have to go see Grogu now.
Yeah,
because Mando's not going to help until he goes to see Grogu, and that's not something you say to do off camera. You know, I think that would be dumb to do. Mm-hmm. That's like playing the Mando music and not having Mando come in. I mean, you mentioned Grogu and then don't show Grogu, and then it's not going to go well for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that a tease though for season 3 of Mando?
I think that's.
I don't think because he says he has to go there first.
I'm pretty sure the next episode is going to be Max Rebo's backstory.
It could be. I actually thought that with Mando getting, you know, practically cutting
he had to get up
off.
Jabba's sail. He was on the sail barge when it blew up. So he's going to be in the sand. Some Tuscans going to get him. He's going to do the bard thing. He's going to root him over with his organ playing. And he's
lizard's going to go in his nose.
We're going to see Max Rebo in Bacta in the next episode.
I actually thought that with Mando practically cutting his own leg off with the lightsaber, with the dark saber, that he was going to have to go into the flashback to tank him. We were going to get some Mando backstory.
No more.
You know, Adam brings a good point though. Mandalorian did say, I got to visit a friend first. So if next episode is Mandalorian going back to go see Grogu and say hi to Luke, and then the last episode...
See, here's what I think. I think you get like 5... I think you get like 5 to 10 minutes of Mando and Grogu and Luke. I think that Luke maybe gives him some dark saber pointers. Because he's having such trouble with it, and I don't think he really resolved that at the end of this episode. So I think that you get a little bit of that, and then hopefully you're back to the Boba stuff. and I think that,
and then that leaves one episode.
I know that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem with this whole Grogu thing. If that's what they're doing, and like I said, I don't see how they do it now without visiting Grogu after he says that.
I can't wait for the show to end. Can't wait for Mando. I can't wait for Mando season 3. That's all this episode did. I don't even care about the last 2 episodes. I was like, just get me to Mando season 3 already, because I am so in love with that character.
God, you complain a lot.
I do. I have standards.
You know,
I'm sorry, I'm not going to love everything you throw at me. I'm just not.
That's the only real problem with this whole thing is that, you know, we're seeing a lot of stuff that really should have been Mando season 3. You know, this Mando and Grogu stuff, this should have been Mando season 3, and we're splicing it into this, and now we're getting into problems, I think. So, you know, while I really loved this episode, I did. It's really, it didn't belong here. You know, this isn't the place for it. So
I almost thought that this should have been like the final, almost like an epilogue at the end of everything that we know, you know, and that kicks it into Mandalorian season 3. Yeah. But you know, I want to come back, you know, obviously when everything is said and done, and see how we feel after 2 episodes, after these last 2 episodes go, and see if it was all worth it. I'd like to welcome Luke Skywalker. Thank you very much, Master Skywalker, for joining us. Brad just gave up.
Oh, he did? Okay, my thing is that perfect example, our lovely friend Extra Techie, he posted a story on his Instagram of a TikTok video of people in a bar apparently watching this episode, and people just losing their minds in that first 60 seconds when they see him, Mando. And it's like, I'm not seeing that for Boba. You know what it is to see that level of excitement for this character that the show is not even about? Yeah. That's very telling to me.
I agree.
So
This should not have been called the Book of Boba Fett. Book of Mandalore or something. I don't know.
The pamphlet of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I don't know.
One thing they did mention, they
8x10 flyer for Boba
yeah, there you
Fett.
his back to healing is finally done. So
Mhm.
maybe that means that he can finally be unleashed and finally be a badass. I'm just putting it out there.
And let the tiger out of the cage.
They finally did say his back to healing was complete.
I agree with that.
Now he can actually be a badass.
Yeah, I think we're definitely moving forward here, which is what I was very interested in this whole current age storyline with the Hutts and all this other stuff. Very interested in that, and I just think that they spent way too much time in the flashback
past.
to Tank, and they could have told that same story without spending so much time there.
And that's one of the things that bothered me. That first episode was very short, and we got 2 stories: the flashback and the present day stuff. And it was like your excitement was like, I'm invested in this story. Oh wait, you're not going to get the end of it for this episode. Oh, okay, so let's go to the future. Oh my God, I'm invested in this part of the story. Oh, we're going to end it now. And I think that set the stage for the rest of the episodes forward from that point, because we never did get like a real good resolution to anything up until this point. And then now we've got a chapter of this series that doesn't really relate to anything that we've seen so far. So it's like they're throwing us another curveball. I can't believe I'm going to say it. They are subverting our expectations.
Oh no! Oh no, bro!
We all know
Said the word.
that means nothing but good things.
That's the magic word.
And if you don't like it, you're a sexist.
Yep.
What? And I will say, and I have said, by the end of this show, if these next 2 episodes do blow me away, not that I believe in a right or a wrong, but I would be fully willing to admit, okay, good, I'm glad okay, now I can see it as a whole. This is so much better, but we'll see. I feel like I can't say anything and have an opinion until the show actually is done. I think this really would have benefited from being released all at once. If it was going to be so out of order.
Adam, say something positive so we can end this damn thing on a positive note. I don't know what we're doing.
I loved it.
I mean, honestly, like I said before, I do like this show, and I know that I'm kind of
I like this show.
I really do. I'm like, it has problems, and I've said those, ad nauseum at this point. But I do like the show overall. I just think that maybe it could have been put together differently. Maybe some stuff made it to the final cut that should have been on the cutting room floor. This last episode was incredible. Some of the best lore of Star Wars on TV I've ever seen.
Right. Yeah.
Live action or animation. Some of the best lore is in this episode right here. So, I mean, this episode had so many great things. Bryce Dallas Howard should be locked up. They need to get her under some type of contract to do more Star Wars, because she gets it. She knows what this stuff is supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, the stories that we want to see and be told. She gets it. So get her under lock and key for a while. But yeah, this episode was incredible. Show overall, I think, is still good. I still like it. Still have problems with it, but still like it. So
It's just weird that we all like this episode and somehow still this show feels so negative. The stream feels so negative. But I loved this episode. I had very, very, very little complaints, even on the technical aspect of it.
Scarif Stockholm syndrome right now.
Yeah. Well, the show's got two episodes left. We'll see. I think they really do have to ramp it up, and I think if we're going to take any stock into what Rodriguez said as far as over delivering, it has to be on this episode, on these last 2 shows.
By the way, I don't take Robert Rodriguez for his at his word on anything.
I mean, none of it, none of them.
No,
but...
I really don't, because I think, I hate to say that he flat out lied, but I mean, objectively, none of that stuff that he said was true.
Very upset.
So I don't know if it was some weird editing thing where he was talking about some previous cut of whatever.
Release the Rodriguez cut.
I don't know. But
let's start that one.
Nothing he said. It was like a week before the show came out. And he started saying this stuff, and I don't know what he's talking about, but flat out, none of that was true. So I'll take him at his word for anything right now.
So, what if the last 2 episodes are so phenomenally good? Will that change your impression on the rest of the show and say, "Oh my God, it's a slow burn, but you got to watch it because it was so worth it"?
Not for me.
Brad,
the fourth quarter of football is all that matters, right? It's the first 3 quarters don't matter. It's just
I don't know.
You wouldn't know that, Rose. I assure you, Rose. That's true.
Not for a movie or a show.
Yeah, me. No. I'm trying to. I don't know. I'm with Adam. I don't sound positive on this at all, but I don't dislike this show. I can't go as far as Adam saying I don't dislike this show. Could it have been a lot better? Absolutely. And I think, I don't know how, but if anybody can do it, it's this creative team to make this a satisfactory show by the time all is said and done.
And I hope so. I think one of the things that is also upsetting me, and I think it's the same thing that's upsetting Shanti, is that I want to love it. Even when The Last Jedi came out, I was at the theater with all my friends. I wanted to love it, and
that's what's upsetting me.
Right, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm always excited to see anything new Star Wars related. And these last 2 episodes, when they come out, next Wednesday and the Wednesday following, we'll be right back here talking about that. And again, just quick little announcement: we're going to be doing our Scarif Live on Saturday nights, 7 o'clock instead of Sunday, to help out people's schedule. But I'm also of the I'm not hating the show. I'm just, I think I expect more from it, especially, because I think by this time they should have ironed out all the problems that they might have had in The Mandalorian to make this, shows to me have to be better. They're incrementally, higher in production quality and storytelling. We know the team behind these shows, so what's going on?
I'm going to say this for the teens and the 20-somethings on Twitter. Having critiques is okay.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you hate anything. It's allowed, and it's just part of discourse and conversation. So,
absolutely. And that moment of Zen was brought to you by the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast and From a Certain Point of View. And speaking from a certain point of view, Adam, before we sign off, I want to let people know how they can find you and what you guys have coming up, you and Josh.
Yeah, so you can find us, you can find us on our website, facpov.com. We're also on Twitter at Certain POV Pod. What we got coming up, a lot of the same type of conversation coming up on this show. She'll be out Tuesday night. And taking a little bit of a week off. I'll be down in Florida doing some Disney stuff next week. So we're going to take a little break after that, but then we'll be back. And I believe we're talking some Harry Potter when I get back.
Oh. Moist.
I love Harry Potter.
That's great. And Shanti, I know you and Alan are also up to no good over at Press Play Streaming Studios. What do you guys have planned?
So we're doing an 80s trivia next Thursday. Alan's putting that together Jeopardy style.
Oh, nice.
But shout out to Amanda and Galaxy of Queers, because myself and lovely Lunar Girl, we're going to be on her show tomorrow to talk about the very damaging but wonderful The Never-Ending Story.
Very nice. Very
That'll
nice.
be fun.
Cool beans. And Brad, what Mexican food did you just order?
Well, it just came in. This was, that's how we end this on a good note. I got a chicken and chorizo burrito bowl.
Chorizo. You're so adorable. I love the way you said that right now.
We've got some nachos and chorizo.
Yeah.
Chorizo.
Oh, chorizo! I got some chorizo and some chicken. Okay, all right. So it's going to be good. All right.
You're crossing that line, Brad. You're crossing that line.
It's not my fault.
And canceled.
And not the first time. Won't be the last.
I'm crying.
Chorizo.
Oh man. And as far as
I love you,
just
Brad.
say it, bro.
I love you, Brad.
Just say it.
just say it. But again, we just what is today? Today is Saturday. Thursday we dropped our wonderful episode that Shanti spearheaded with Andrew from Coruscant Radio Underground and Science Fictionary. And Andy
spearheaded, Shanti?
No, I'm laughing at myself.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I let her host 2 shows. This week we dropped the first one, and she did a fantastic job. I loved it. They talked about pirates, and the amount of knowledge between Andrew and Andy was amazing. I was putting that show together, and I was just in awe at the deep knowledge that they had on pirates, and not just your usual general audience Pirates of the Caribbean Johnny Depp stuff, but I mean they went deep and really talked about the history and the different pirates between regions and things like that, the politics of pirates. Really great episode. If you guys are into pirates, and who isn't, check out the latest Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. I'm also going to drop all of our Scarif Lives reviews, Boba Fett refresh, as podcast episodes. So if you're out there shoveling snow this winter, you want to catch up on reviews, I will go ahead and put those in our SoundCloud account so you can listen to them at your leisure. And next week, I got another episode. Again, Shanti hosts and talks Twilight Zone with our friend and Patreon, the Frank 402. Was it Frank 402? The Frank 402?
Yes, Frank 402.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the Frank 404 because that is an HTML error.
Oh, wow.
Or the Frank.
Wow.
Getting cold over here, Ro. My food's getting cold.
Someone get the hook.
Someone get the hook. All right, guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you very much for joining us on tonight's Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast, a little Boba Fett refresh. I am Ro, that's Brad, Adam down there, and the wonderful Shanti, Selena Kyle29. Take care, everybody. May the force be with you. And that is the Scuttlebutt. Love you guys.